Tune into A Godly Woman's View with Anita C. Spaulding and her anointed panel of godly women who will minister, inspire, and set your soul on fire.
Woo! Yeah!
Watch and listen every Tuesday night from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on blogtalkradio.com/A Godly Woman's View and also on livestream.com/A Godly Woman's View.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it more than you know.
A Godly Woman's View with Anita C. Spaulding. Do you have a thirst for godly information? Do you hunger for deeper revelation when nothing else will do? Tune into A Godly Woman's View with Anita C. Spaulding and her anointed panel of godly women who will minister, inspire, and set your soul on fire.
Woo! Yeah!
Watch and listen every Tuesday night from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on blogtalkradio.com/A Godly Woman's View and also on livestream.com/A Godly Woman's View.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it more than you know.
A Godly Woman's View with Anita C. Spaulding.
Good evening. You've just tuned into A Godly Woman's View talk show. Every Tuesday, we come into your homes on your phones, whether it's an Android, iPhone, Samsung. I call my phone because I paid for it. It's not, I know it's an iPhone, but my phone costs so much money till I say this is my phone. But anyway, listen, I am certainly glad that you have joined us and you've tuned in tonight because we have a special show that we're honoring and saluting graduates from all different ages and different professions. But we have two tonight that are going to express themselves and let us know how their journey has been and what caused them to really to go forth. Oh my goodness, I see all of you coming in. Sean Spotswood, my godson, Cynthia Houghton, God bless you, Nancy Hayes. Oh my goodness, I need you guys to help us to build the audience on this evening. Listen, I got something really that was interesting that's happened to me over the past few months. I got in the mail 2 green cards. No, I said green card, not my green card, but 2 green cards for the courts, for pettit court. So I called and on May 26th, I was supposed to show up, but they also sent another card and say I'm supposed to show up for another to be picked as a juror on the 3rd or 4th or whatever it was. So anyway, I sent a notice in. I went on and I says, you know, I'm unavailable. And I gave the reason why I would not be a good juror. So anyway, they sent back and they said, well, that's denied and we're going to accept you. Then they, in the meantime, for the 26th, they sent me a card or sent me an email and says, no jurors are needed and we'll see you in 3 years. But they sent another one, as I told you, a green card to me, and it was for my official name, which is Anita C. Southgate Spaulding, not Anita Spaulding. And I tried to get out of it. So in the meantime, I had another court date the same day, and then I had another court date the same day. So I had to make up my mind because I told my husband, I don't want them to come and lock me up. Oh my goodness. If I don't show up for one of these courts, they're going to lock me up. They're going to put out a warrant for my arrest. So anyway, I had to make this conscious decision on what I was going to do for the second green card that came through. So really, I didn't even show up because I had another court date with something else that was very important that I had to attend. And then today, the same day, I had 2 court dates. Today, I had 2 court appearances, one as a witness to a crime. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to that one. Then I had another one to the pettit court. And I was like, oh Lord, if I don't go to that. But I couldn't go to the both of them at the same time. So guess what? I made a decision. I went to the one that was for criminal court. And guess what, y'all? I sat there today from 9:05 to 1:45. And finally, the judge called for that case. And he was going back and forth. He was an awesome judge. He was going back and forth with this young lady. And then I said to him, excuse me, Your Honor, excuse me, I am a witness for this particular case, and I've been waiting since 9 o'clock this morning. He said, well, I appreciate it, but we don't really need you. I said, no, he did not tell me. And I sat on here for 4 or 5 hours waiting for them to call. I was ready to be that witness too. But anyway, so he just told me to go on, but I was so mad. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, because I was like, I done sat here all this time. But you know what? This is a godly woman's view, and we have some exciting women that are in the backstage, and they're getting ready to come out, and we're going to introduce them. But I see those of you that's already coming on, and to just to witness their journey, or to witness their testimonies of how they made it. I see all of you. I see you, Apostle Eugene Lavelle. Bless you also, Cynthia Houghton, and as I was saying, Sean Spotswood. And come on, you guys, hit those their hearts and stars, because these here young ladies, they have went through some blood, sweat, and tears to get where they are today. I'm bringing them right now from the backstage. We have Yvette Lavelle. How you doing? And we have Shekinah Atkins, who has joined us. You girls say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, I'm going to take them individually. How are you doing, Yvette Lavelle? Say hello to our audience on tonight.
I am well. Hello, everyone that is viewing. Amen. Thank you for joining us, and pray that you get encouraged to do some things in your journey as well. God bless.
And also, no disrespect to Yvette Lavelle. She's an apostle, and she's just an awesome woman of God, because I don't like when folk disrespect me either. But anyway, I'm not disrespecting her. I want you to know that, because I have much respect for folks. But anyway, we have this beautiful young lady who's 23 years old, Shekinah Atkins. Say hello, girl, to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching. So excited to be here, and excited to, see all of you guys on the live.
Oh, wow. This is so awesome, because, there's, people say, all young people, well, no, that's not true. I don't know where people keep stereotyping people. You know what I'm saying? I see Cynthia Atkins. That must be the mama. Mama's on Apostle. Apostle Cynthia Atkins is watching also. Oh, the daddy too. My goodness, the whole family. And the dogs. No, Bishop Reginald W. Atkins also is watching their beautiful young lady. But we just want to tell you a little bit about both of them. I want you to get to know them for yourselves, and perhaps there's some of you that's going through some difficult things in your life, and you just don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. You don't know who to turn to. You've tried this and you've tried that, and it seems though that you have hit a brick wall, or you don't know what else to do. Well, these young ladies from the age 23 and 55, listen, look at that gap there. 23, 55, 23, 55. Guess what, Shekinah, you're going to be 55 one day. You wait a while, girl, but it's good to be where you are. Stay where you are, enjoy your life, girl. Yes. But anyway, Yvette Lavelle, I just wanted to talk to you about her a little bit. She's a doll. But Yvette Lavelle, she graduated from Lighthouse Christian Counseling Center in Brooklyn, New York. She's a board-certified Christian counselor with the National Association of Christian Councils. Her educational goals, she'll be getting a 6-week certification class as a grief and loss counselor. In September, she will be getting her bachelor's in theology, then on to her master's in clinical Christian counseling. She's also the founder of Iron Sharpens Iron LLC. This is awesome. And her desire is to train and to teach others to be counselors and to help people to be the best that God has made them. I want you to say hello again to the viewers on this evening.
Good evening, everyone. As Lady Spaulding was just saying, it's an honor for me to be here tonight to talk about the journey that I've gone through as far as my education, and also the passion that God has put in my heart to help others to be the best that they are through counseling, through encouragement, and even as an apostle in the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ, is to help people to be who God has called them to be. So good evening to everyone.
Wow. This is so awesome because I know you have a lot to say, and we're going to be asking you some questions in a few minutes, but we just want to introduce to some and present to others this other beautiful young lady who is my newly appointed niece. My newly appointed God niece, praise God, because her mom and dad are my God brother and sister. But this is SHEKINAH Atkins. She gonna correct me. Did I say your name right?
Yeah, you said it.
Okay, I'm saying it. She said it's okay. SHEKINAH Atkins. She graduated from New Jersey City University, also with a Bachelor in Science, BS in Biology, and a BA in Psychology. Wow. She's now in post-bac program doing research for cancer. Just say hello to everybody, sweetie.
Hello, everyone. So excited to see you guys here.
Wow, she is such a beautiful young lady. But I just like to ask you a question. Your dad said twin face. He just put it on, and then everybody said you look like your dad. Okay, we're gonna have a contest. Okay, we're getting ready to have her walk across the stage with, and you can tell us which one is her dad. No, but anyway, we're gonna start with you, SHEKINAH, first. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
Okay, so I have two brothers. I have an older brother and a younger brother, and I'm the only girl. So I'm the middle child. Yeah.
Well, how was it growing up in your house with your mother and father? Because they're educated. What did they instill in you?
Okay, so growing up, my parents were very I wouldn't say they were like the strictest parents, but they were strict. And basically we were we were well versed. My mom taught us really how to read and do math. Just growing up, we were always learning. So that was something that they instilled in me from a young age, whether it was reading the Bible, remembering a prayer. We were just always learning.
Oh, so you're a PK kid.
Yeah.
You're a PK kid, so it's like you either pray, you stay. No. Listen, you're watching A Godly Woman's View with Anita Spaulding, and I have the privilege of interviewing two young ladies, one from the baby boomers and the other one, I believe, from let me get it right, the millennial? You the millennial? Yeah. Oh, okay, the millennial. Well, I don't know whatever it is. I'm gonna get them right, y'all. Mm-hmm. What'd you say, SHEKINAH?
I said I was born in 1999.
Oh, okay, but y'all got the dates all in your head and stuff. I was born in 1956. That's it. And I ain't telling you, I ain't no boomer. I ain't old. I ain't nothing. No. But we have different ones that are saying congratulations to you. But I'd like to ask you both a question. What contributed to your successful completion of school? I'm sorry about that, y'all.
Yes, okay.
What oh Jesus, let me I gotta get rid of this some kind of way. Oh God. Okay. That was my dad. But anyway, okay. But let me just ask this question. Sorry about that, everybody. But what contributed to your successful completion of school? You could just, either one of you could answer this.
Well, because I'm the older one.
Okay, you go first.
The older one. What contributed to my success was family support. When I first decided back in 2016 to go back and get my degree, at the time in my family, you know, my mom raised me as a single mom. So education wasn't at the top of our list. So after getting married and having children and everything, I decided at the age of 50 to go back and obtain my first degree, which is an associate's degree. And then the success was just my children, my husband just saying, you can do this. You can do this. They got a little hard, but he was like, you can do this. You can do this.
So you made a decision. Now you should kind of, did you make a decision or was the decision made for you?
Well, okay. So I remember there was this one day where I remember my dad.
Tell it. I'm here. Wait a minute. Yeah, go ahead, girl.
I remember my dad coming into the room with me and my brother, and we had like a computer set up. And he was like, you guys need to sit down, go on the computer and look at what you're going to do. And so I started looking up things. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I know I want to help people, but I don't think I want to work with blood and like all that stuff. So I kind of just typed up highest paying job in like the healthcare field. And I ended up with anesthesia.
Wow.
Yes.
You want to just put people to sleep.
Yeah, just put people to sleep. But then later on, as I, was in high school and I started taking my classes in college, I started to get like a real interest in biology and chemistry. So then that kind of drove me to want to, get to where I am now and where I'm trying to go.
Wow. Now that's awesome. And it's good that someone took an active interest in what you both were doing, because, you can have some that put up a roadblock, and say, well, I don't think you should do that. Or I don't think that's for you, but nobody really can make a decision for what you want to do. I mean, they can help direct you, which parents, SHEKINAH Atkins, her parents directed her in the way that she should go. And when she's old, she won't depart. Listen, you're watching A Godly Woman's View, and it's so awesome that I have the opportunity to speak to two that are on their educational journey. They've already passed some of their goals, but they're going to keep on going. And you guys that are watching and listening, we want to even sow into their life a little later in the program. So I'm going to let you know what we're going to do, because these two women, they are special to my heart and dear to A Godly Woman's View. And every year we try to give something to just say, okay, go get some gas, and especially you need gas money today with gas $5 a gallon, so we give them 10. No. So, but we want to be able to be a blessing to them, and we know that some have already started a couple of weeks ago. So we're proud of both of you. We're proud of your accomplishments. But another question, how did you handle school-related stress and disappointment? Let me ask that again. How did you handle school-related stress and disappointment?
Okay, so I can go first on this one. I remember freshman year, I was at Rider University, and basically I was in this math class, and math has always been my strong suit. So math, science, English, those are just subjects that I really love and I've always been like really good at. So when I got in the class and I'm learning, but I'm not getting the grades that I really wanted to get. So at this point, I think I felt like the first 2 exams and I was like, this is crazy. Like, this has never happened to me before. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I went to the bathroom. I started crying. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, oh God. So I was in that moment, I was really like disappointed. I was very upset with myself. But then I had to remember, like, I just needed to give myself a little bit of like grace, because everything doesn't, like, it's not gonna come like that. It's, it takes practice. So I would say I really had to be resilient, like, have some resilience about myself. After that, I was like, there's no shame in going to go get some tutoring. Okay. There's no shame in it at all. If you need help, go get help. Like you're not
But you were
dumb.
stressing at some point in
Yes.
your journey, because when it's like you don't know what's going to happen, you know, which none of us do. We don't know what's going to happen the next minute. But you were stressing in that because you came from like you said, your father and mother educated, and they already instilled those values in you. And of course, you don't want to disappoint, but then at some point, you don't want to disappoint yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the same question, at LEVELL.
Well, with me, because I work a full-time job and then I have a family, so I would leave work and I work about 30 minutes away from my home. So I would come home, had to hurry up and get online at 7 o'clock. And there were some times that I was just really stressed out. And the one thing about when I'm going into counseling, and what I learned while I was in school, was that the counselor needs counseling as well. Because as we were doing case studies, and when I tell you, it was some of the case studies was hitting home where we were looking at ourselves saying, oh my God, that's me. But it helped you to be able to, when I, get a client, I can look and see, well, you know what? I dealt with it. I got through it. Now I can help them. So it was stressful at times. And because it was a Christian school, there was times we had to have prayer in the middle of the class, because a lot of students was breaking down, like going through deliverance, like, oh my God, what is happening? And they would pick up on it. So that between the working and the school, and I would sit up late at night trying to do the case studies. Some of the lessons I didn't get them done. So I'm emailing everybody and they're like, just calm down. Just
Wow.
So yeah. And I didn't want to give up. I was determined. I am going to do this because I know what my heart and passion is.
And you know what? I hear both of you saying that even though there was stressful times in your life, but it took determination, that you had to be determined, and you had to, you didn't want to disappoint yourself. And that's something about setting goals. Is it reasonable to say that you set goals for yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Like no long-term goal is really achievable if you don't have shorter goals to get to it.
Oh, okay, yeah. And
Right.
you know what? I agree with that, because I'm the type of person, I have to do short-term goals. If I know what I want, this 5-year plan down the line, but I'm not going to start doing that now. I have to do these little short-term things, and that what keeps me going. I don't know, it keeps the fuel in the fire, of the fire burning, so to speak. As I have these here short-term goals and things, and I'm like this, once I achieve that, then okay, that's done. Next, I can't just do them all together, even though I know that's something next coming. I don't know. How do y'all feel about that?
Well, it has to be realistic, because again, if you make them long term, you're not going to do it. You're going to procrastinate, and then you're going to give up. So when I completed this part and became board certified, Thursday I'm starting a whole nother class to be a grief and loss counselor.
School. What?
I know, but because it's needed, and with this one, it's only 6 weeks, and it's needed. People that are dealing with grief and loss, they need someone to talk to. You need to be able to understand the process of grief, because everybody doesn't understand it. So that's my next class for the 6 weeks. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going in September for a bachelor's in theology, and then my master's in clinical Christian counseling, because the next thing is in December, where I'm going to be opening up a training center. That's my heart.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. You know what? These ladies know where they're going, and she says she's getting ready to open up a training center, so she already knows. But you cannot, if you stop in the middle of that. And matter of fact, before I even say stop, you can stop, but then don't just stay there stuck.
Right.
Get up and go again. You might have to take a different route, or change your strategy on how that you're going to do something. I see my wonderful husband, my Boaz, Bishop-elect Spaulding. He's also watching. Apostle Eugene LEVELL says that's his queen. That's Apostle LEVELL, YVETTE LEVELL. I thank God for her. And Apostle Cynthia Atkins says, great perspective, Shekinah. Boy, y'all got your own fan club in here. Look at that. You know, that's right. Bring them on. I brought my own. I see Psalmist Miranda Simpson. She says, I'm determined to fulfill my purpose. And that's what we have to be. We have to be determined to fulfill our own purpose, because nobody else can fill your purpose. I see you, Amanda Hayes. Nobody else can. I told y'all I'm going everybody to the party. But it's good to have that support also. Right. But you got to learn how to, if there's no support around, then what do you do?
Right.
What do you do?
Then you have to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Because even with Shekinah, she's in healthcare. And when she said one of the top jobs, because I'm in healthcare as well, one of the top jobs between a surgeon, and I am a OR specialist, a scheduling specialist. So I schedule surgeries every day for the OR, and the highest as an anesthesiologist, they get paid a lot of money to put people to sleep, but you got to know what you're doing. And with me, it's a dual thing, because I love healthcare. I always wanted to be a nurse, but that wasn't where God told me to go. So I understand my heart, my passion is to be able to help people, whether pray for what's going on with their bodies. I work in transplant now, so I'm able to help people find a kidney or any kind of organ. So God got me kind of doing a couple of things, you know. So yeah,
and
she's in a good field.
And that's what I'm saying. Shekinah, you don't know where you're going, even though you're right now. You're doing your post-bac. Search for cancer. Now, your father, I was calling you Dr. Shekinah because your father, that's all he said. She a doctor. She gonna be a doctor. I said, oh, okay. So I've been saying, oh, I got a niece that's gonna be a doctor. And she was like, she had to straighten me out in her writings and said, no, I'm in a post-bac program doing research. I never even heard that either. But I was like, okay. She's going to be a doctor. But I thank God, because you got to start someplace. Right? You got to start somewhere. Now, let me ask you a question. In one word, how would you describe your educational experience and why? So let me ask that again. In one word, how would you describe your educational experience and why?
I know, right? Well,
I can go first.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think about it.
Okay. So I feel like there's a lot of words that I could use to like just describe my journey, but I feel like the main one would be I had to be proactive.
Oh wow.
And I say that because I feel like with everything, I had to make sure that I was on top of it. I had to make sure that I knew the things that I didn't know. And if I didn't know, I asked the questions that I needed to ask so that I would get the information that wasn't necessarily shared with everybody.
So it's really not easy, you know. No. It's not easy at all. But she said she had to be proactive. And when you say proactive, that means that you got to step outside of the box, you know, and you got to seek other people, methods, things like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, most definitely. And then like, even with classes, we had to be proactive as well, because if you're not studying the material before time or anything like that, or like you don't know how to study or what your method is, because different people have different, you know, types of like methods of studying. If you don't know your right one, or if you talk to the wrong professor, it's a constant like weeding out process, especially in biology. A biology major, they're weeding people out. In the medical field, they're weeding people out. We had a class of over like 100 people. By the time the class ended, it was like maybe 30 of us.
Really?
They weeded us out. So if you weren't proactive, if you weren't really on your A game, yeah, it was
And
just
that's
Wow.
what they told us, the guidance counselors, when I was in high school. But when I was in high school, they says, when you go to college, nobody is going to tell you to do your homework. They're not going to tell you to get up. They're not going to tell you to do this. And I just couldn't fathom that in my mind. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Nobody's going to bother you. You can do it or not do it. And that's what I'm hearing you say, Shekinah, that you really have to be proactive, you know, and you got, God bless you. I see my Linda, overseer Linda Steinmetz, she is also on, and she said, good advice to follow throughout life. And that is so true. We need to have a life plan. That's what I really feel as people, that we need to have a life plan. Answer that same question, Apostle.
Well, the word that I was thinking when she said it, it was vigilance. Like I really had to be vigilant and just keep going, because I am a type of person, and people that know me, I don't say, oh, you're in school again. I'll say yes, because I need to learn. I love to learn. I love to read and be able to help. Even as an apostle or in the church, God is putting us also in the marketplace. It's not just going to be in a church service.
Like
He's going to bring individuals into the house. And even those that's already in the house, when you're a counselor, you're able to see why people do what they do and really be able to understand their personality traits. Understand.
Look, I'm coming. I need your couch. When's your couch open? I need to come lay on that white couch. But I want gold around mine. But anyway, go ahead.
And then you can also pray, because while I'm talking to you, you know, and trying to realize what's going on and where it's them, you know, so I really had to be vigilant about it and just say, you know what, I'm not going to stop until I get to the place where God wants me to be. Until I take my last breath, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm being an example to my children and my grandchildren. So I'm just, you know, I love to learn, and I'm going to keep doing it until I close my eyes.
That is awesome. Ganny goes to school.
Well, everything's virtual now, so school can come to me.
Oh, wow. That's true. Bishop Atkins says, yes, marketplace ministry. And this is what is so important, especially since the pandemic. But I want to ask you this question. How did the pandemic impact your educational journey, if at all? How did the pandemic impact your educational journey, if at all?
Well, I didn't start back until maybe May or June, because I was working. So I wasn't even really thinking about school. Yeah, affected by it, because I was working, and then I was working at home for a couple of months. But then I actually noticed something about the school on Facebook. And I said, well, you know what, Lord, I've been doing this pretty much all my life, my ministry, counseling people. But listen, right now, I need the credentials so that I can step out and do the business.
Awesome.
And get paid for what I do.
I'm telling you, wow, this is awesome. Shekinah?
I honestly, this may sound like oh, but the pandemic wasn't that bad for me. If anything, it freed up my time more. So during the pandemic, you know, it was like going to school online. I was able to make work more hours at work. The only thing that I would say was negative was that I wasn't able to get the lab experience that internships that I really wanted to, because with science, you know, you have to be hands-on. Right. So a lot of us weren't able to get that hands-on experience that you normally get.
And you know, this is so good that both of you are able to help us that are listening, the viewers, because there are some that are contemplating even going back to school, you know, because it's harder when you get older and you've been out of school for a little while. You'd be like, I ain't trying to hear that. You know, I'm not trying to go back to school. Right now, I'm in a university for Christian, not for Christian counselors, for mental, to be a certified mental illness counselor. So, and it's very difficult and hard. I made up my mind last year to go, and every time I got to go to, I'm like, Lord Jesus, this screen, you know, but I enjoy it because I know what I want to do and how I want to get there. And I see so many of you that are viewing on tonight, and these young ladies, Apostle YVETTE, LEVELL, is just an awesome woman that has gone back to school and received her board certified Christian counselor training. Also, SHEKINAH Atkin's, she is in her post-bac program doing research for cancer, which, girl, kudos to you. That is just awesome. You know, and she has a degree in biology and psychology. That's a double major, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Girl, you definitely stayed in the books. So I see Evangelist Melissa Sands that's listening. So we're never too old to learn, you know, and I believe that, you know, and we congratulate both of you, but I have a few more questions. What do you envision for your futures? What do you envision for your future?
Well, as I stated earlier, is to open up the Christian training counseling. I'm going to train others to be Christian counselors, and then also to be able to work for myself, you know, to do what God has called me to be. Because I love the healthcare field, and I tell my job every day I'm there until God says so. But that's what I want to do. I want to be able to be free to, you know, to help other people, you know, better themselves, you know, to better their life. That's my goal.
And my hat's off to you. I see Apostle Atkins says, yes, very. Brains and beauty. I love it. That's it. Brains and beauty. And both of you are like, you're inside beautiful as well as outside beautiful. And I'm telling you, you're going to go places. And I'm just praying and put my hand in the direction wherever you are and saying, Lord, enlarge their territory and increase, and whatever your hands touch, let it be blessed. Wherever your feet shall tread, let that ground be blessed, and break up that that soil that is hardened, and pray that you will receive even the resources that you need to open up your businesses. Because I even see SHEKINAH opening up her own. You know, they're going to be coming to her and saying, this is the Nobel Prize for her even being able to, you know, find the cure for cancer.
Yes.
Cello.
That's right.
How about that?
Amen.
And this is something we want to push people into their destiny and where they're supposed to go, because sometimes people don't know that all it needs is a little push.
That's right.
You know, let's push you. And that's what I believe those that are watching on today, we're pushing you to where you need to go. And it took bravery and courage to come on A Godly Woman's View and to be out there, you know, and just telling everybody. But this is helping you to be accountable for what you're getting ready to do. I see you, Psalmist Miranda Simpson, who is a great educator, and thank God for her. Let me ask you this question. What coping skills did you use to overcome challenges? Let me say that again. What coping skills did you use to overcome challenges?
Okay.
For me, it was definitely prayer.
That's awesome.
I remember this one time my dad, I would always pray in the car, like if I felt some type of anxiety or just something that I felt like was a crisis at the time. And I would I went to school in Jersey City, so I would ride home and I would just blast the worship music, and I would just pray about it. And I just felt better after. And I remember my dad, he's like, yeah, I seen you in the car out there crying and praying. I said, oh, you saw that?
You know, also SHEKINAH, I believe she's a minister too, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes, she's a minister, and she's helping her mom and dad in ministry, and she is able to stand on her own 2 feet. But I liked something that you said. You said what you did was pray. Even after you cry, y'all, you still got to do something. Because crying ain't going to, it might help you to release. But after you and cry, you still got to get up from there and do something. And, you know, and really, I believe that you got in touch with the Lord, And many times we have to go to the Lord in prayer. They used to sing a song years ago, I go to the Lord in prayer. And that's what we have to do. We go to the rock of our salvation. Yes. Hallelujah. The stone that the builders even rejected. There's times that people are going to reject what you're doing. They're going to reject what you're saying. They're going to reject how you go about doing it, and this will cause you to have anxiety, will make you want to give up, make you want to flip out on somebody. And y'all know that's the truth. Be like, you better leave me alone. But the thing is that you got to really just stand, because there's a test that you already have passed because of what Jesus did. So I want you to answer that question. What coping skills did you use, Apostle, to overcome challenges?
Well, I prayed and I journal. So once I got myself together, I have a couple of journals that I write information. I write down how I'm feeling. And then I'm also writing to God saying, I don't like how this feels. And I'm just kind of letting it all out, because the anxiety gets to be too much. And then once I'm done, I put the date on it. And then once I feel better, I have even gone back months later and looked at the date and say, you know what, God, I got through this. I got through this. So I pray, and I'm a worship leader, so I sing, but then I also journal. And
we got some singing educational people here. They sing through their misery and pain.
Yes. Can't take my song. Right?
I know what you said. And you know what? I do the same thing. What I'll do is turn on 1810 and I let the music start. I'm playing, and then all of a sudden I begin to pray and begin to cry out to the Lord. God, I don't know what else to do. But God, you know what to do. I have Overseer Linda Steinmetz all the way from Maryland. She says, Shekinah, you are a great role model for other young women. Thank God for you. Psalmist Miranda Simmons says, you can cry, but you have to rise up, and then you got to press. That's even right. After all of that. And many of you that are watching Barbara Dreeden she's from Delaware, I believe, Dover, Delaware. She says she sings and she prays. And this is what's going to get us through as Christian women. This is what a godly woman's view is all about. People have views all over the world, but there's nothing like a godly woman's view. And I see that you already know what the view is, and you focused. That's the whole thing. You got to focus on what you have been called to do, what you've been designed to do, what you've been engineered to do. You just can't look, this way or that way. And there's always going to be somebody that try to bring distractions. Right. Have y'all ever had any distractions?
Yes, ma'am.
Any distractions at all? Why are you laughing, Shekinah?
I wasn't laughing.
I'm not going to go there, but anyway, why are you laughing, Shekinah?
I was laughing. I was
yeah, I wanted everybody to hear this because I already had heard it, but she ain't gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna put you on blast, girl. I ain't gonna put you on blast. We just had our little conversation before the show. And it's good to laugh, You're watching a godly woman's view, and I'm telling you, I'm having the time of my life with these here two women. Now, looking back, is there anything you would do different? Looking back, you don't have to look too far back, Shekinah. You 23, right? Neither do you, LEVELL, Apostle. You 55, girl. You ain't got nowhere to look. I'm 66. Okay, I got to look way back now. What do you have to look back and say? Is there anything that you would do different than you're doing now, or that you would have changed?
I wouldn't have waited so long.
Oh wow!
Because I got married when I was 25. So from there, married, children, children. Life, and
ministry,
pastoring. There was no, okay, what does Yvette want to do? And I think I would have did differently, at that time. But since I couldn't go back and changed it, once my children got older and everyone was kind of, self-sufficient or whatever, at the age of 50 is when I said, you know what, I'm going back to school. I need to do what I need to do. And I got my first degree when I turned 50. So I'm just like, okay, I can do this and I'm going to keep going. But if I could have, I would have went to school. But I don't think I had the mind set back then to do it.
Your mind wasn't set to do that.
My mind wasn't. No, it was to just go to work, because I love, I'm stable in my work environment. So I would just go to work, do what I need to do. And that's a good thing about it too, is that whatever you're in, God always brings you right back to your passion. Because I've done, my past jobs. I worked for immigration. I'm a hairstylist. I work for Target. I worked in the funeral home. I've done a little bit of everything, but I always trickle back to helping people, counseling people, in the health field. My grandmother always said, just go be a nurse, but that's not what God called me to be.
That's not your passion, right?
That's not my passion. So now I get to interact with patients on the phone and give them a little hope, everything's going to be fine. And I'm right back. That's
good. That's really good, to be able to just know where you are now, and then what you're going to do in the future. And I love both of you. You girls are just outstanding, remarkable. I'm telling you, my hat's off to you. And I just want to be like you when I grow up. That's because you girls are awesome. Apostle Atkins says, Apostle, you're classy. You're classy. She is, and I've seen her journey myself. And her and her husband, and I am just so proud of both of them for how God has brought them from there to where they are now. And it's only took God. Your overseer Steinbeck says, thank God for you, Apostle Lavelle. Your message is encouraging to older people. I don't know if I want to say that word, but anyway, older people that want to go to school, follow your passion. Y'all know that I like to laugh and have a good time, but don't be putting me in there. That older people, that just sounded so old. But anyway, I love you. She's probably cracking up laughing right about now. But SHEKINAH, looking back, is there anything that you would do differently?
I probably in high school, I wouldn't have stressed as much as I did about being alone at that time.
Oh, okay.
Just because there were, I guess I don't want to say I was comparing myself, or like, in high school it's always about, who are my friends, or who am I sitting at lunch with. At that time I really didn't have anyone to sit with, so I was literally set apart. And
you was just a loner. You were a loner.
Right. And people didn't understand me, and I didn't understand me. And at that time, it just caused me a whole bunch of stress. But then God had my back, and he sent my friend, Amanda Haynes, who was on this live. So
she's on too. Yes.
Yeah. So I definitely, looking back, I wouldn't have stressed too much about, being set apart.
And, there are some that are like that. Even in school, they don't want to be so different. They don't want to be like called corny and all that kind of stuff. So they try to fit in with the crowd, and by fitting in, sometimes you can lose out.
Yeah.
So, do you agree with that, SHEKINAH?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that like a lot of even now, I feel like a lot of high school kids are so like worried about being, with the in crowd, that they don't realize that they're missing out on an opportunity to really capitalize on that time and learn more about themselves and what their interests are. And it's sad, but that's just, I guess that's how it is.
That is how it is. But once you make up your mind and say, no, this is what I'm going to do. And, because even in high school, well, not even high school, when I was in junior high, I was saved, and they was calling me holy roller and look at you. You look, what did they say? I look, homey. I looked homey because my blouse, my shirt was up to my neck, and my sleeves and down on my knees and stuff like that. But I was saved and I was preaching. I didn't really care about that, but then after a while, I did start looking at it. And then I got into a fight in the yard, out in the schoolyard. A girl called me out. And I'm like, and I don't fight. I'm saved. I don't fight. Right? While I got out there, that girl took and swung her fist, and I was like, what? In the name of Jesus. Oh, yes, I did. And I fought back. But I bet she ain't mess with me no more.
Exactly.
With my little homie self. So sometimes, as Shekinah said, because you got to separate yourself. You got to know exactly who you are. You can't have nobody come pulling you from what you believe. If you can't pull them to what you believe, then later for them. They nobody. Keep it moving, But I'm loving the answers. But I have this question. This question for Shekinah. What advice would you give someone your age? What advice would you give someone your age who wants to pursue a college degree?
I would say to stay focused. Even now, I feel like a lot of people who are my age or in my age group get so distracted with anything and everything. And it's like, oh, well, I don't know if I'll be able to do this, or I don't know if I'll be able to do that, or he looks good, she looks good, and then they get so distracted and lose sight on their goals. So I think it's definitely like stay focused, stay locked in. And that's what it is. That's what I would say.
You know what? I see Bishop-elect. He'll put something like, Lord, I married a woman. Wait a minute. No, he did not. Lord, I married a woman who was a homie girl. You know what? I was from across the tracks, and you still married me, didn't you? I was from across the tracks. I was born in a house, and I fed the chickens, and I slew chickens' necks, and I also planted seeds in the soil and stuff. Yeah. And you still married me. But anyway, I'm a homie girl. But listen, another question I have for you, Shekinah. What do you plan to accomplish by doing research for cancer? What do you plan to accomplish doing some research for cancer?
That's a really good question. So basically, I took this post-grad because it's kind of like a gap year. In this year, I'm trying to develop more research skills because, as I said, I wasn't able to be in the lab like I wanted to when I was in my undergraduate years. So from this, I definitely want like a publication, definitely the skill, but the end goal is to end up in some type of MD/PhD program or a PhD program, and then later maybe go to an MD program. I know people hear that, they're like, oh, that's a lot of school. But I do like to learn, and I feel like there's really nothing else to do.
Wow.
There's only so many things you can eat, so many places you can go, but there's so many things you can learn.
So profound, girl, profound.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I want to ask you, this is the last question for you, Shekinah. What is your formula for success? What is your formula for success?
So my formula for success has definitely been prayer. It's definitely been a mix of like family support, being focused, and yeah, I want to say that's like my formula. I mean, that's really it.
I love it because you got a sense of humor, and you need to have one, today. And it's such a blessing just even talking to you. Now, I want to ask you a question, Apostle. What made you pursue Christian counseling?
Well, what made me pursue it is, well, first of all, I've been counseling for years, pastor for over 20 years. I've been, pastoring for over 20 years, in the ministry for close to 30 years, and just people, just coming and talking and asking questions and just, being able to give them wisdom and advice. So I've been doing this for a long time. I've counseled married couples, individuals, singles. So it was already something that I was already doing. But then God just kind of put the icing on the cake. And, you know,
Awesome.
usually if it's something that God has ordained for you to do, you're already doing it.
Wow.
It's just you trying to find your niche and just stay in there.
You know, Apostle, and that is so true. What advice would you give someone who fears furthering their education? What advice would you give to someone that fears, furthering their education?
Well, the first thing is if you're a believer, you can't walk in fear. That's the first thing.
That's true. That's true.
You can't walk in fear. And the second thing is you definitely have to pray and ask God to order your steps and give you direction.
Wow.
Because you don't know. Even when I enrolled in school, and because I was in school before, I was not able to get financial aid. They told me I exhausted my monies. I have student loans that are up the yin-yang. And I was like, Lord, I want to go back to school. And he directed me to this school who now I can continue my education and can afford to pay for it. And
Bishop-elect says, Cray Cray is located in the local church.
From the head to
the... so we need you, girl. We need you.
You do have to ask God to show you where to go and what to do.
I'm telling you, here's your last question. How do you plan on using your certification as a Christian counselor? I know you gave us a little bit, but you could just let them know again, those that are listening. How do you plan on using your certification as a Christian counselor?
Well, what I plan on doing is, as I stated earlier, between December and January, I will be opening up a training center to train other Christian counselors along with my church, and even training pastors, leaders, anyone that wants to enroll for them to become certified. Because again, we're going to need this. A lot of times, if you're in the church, you're only told, let's just pray about it. Let's just pray about it.
Oh, Jesus, that's been played out too. They used to say that to me. Well, just pray about it.
Pray. Yeah.
And I used to say to my mother, well, Mom, I want to talk about this. She says, what did I say? Just pray. I said, Mother, I need to talk and then pray. Exactly. And she would say, no, we're going to pray. I'm like, okay, you pray and I'm going to talk. Exactly. She was like, Nita, But the thing is, I always wanted to talk. I need to talk, and pray. But I thank God for both of these women that are just so, oh my God, they got me super excited. And I already got in my mind, I had wrote down something earlier what I'm going to do. And I'm going to bring it to the attention of my husband. Let him know there's something that I'm going to do. And, we always back each other up anyway. But I just want those of you that's watching, didn't we enjoy them? Just hit those hearts and those thumbs up if you've enjoyed these two graduates. Come on, hit those. Go ahead. That's it. Hit them, hit them, hit them. We need to support our own. It's a poor frog that don't support their own or praise their own pond. That's what I was told. So we need to praise them. Listen, we want to give them a gift on today. All right. I already know what I'm going to do, and they'll be getting it on next week. But Bishop-elect and myself will be giving them something. But we want those of you that will plant or sow a seed or give a gift. Okay. Give a gift, give money. Okay. Into their life. I don't have their cash apps. So what you can do, you can send it to me. But if you want to, I'm going to have them tell you what theirs is. Mine is $WINNNER123. Again, that's $WINNNER123. That's 3 N's. Okay. You can send it to me and you put in that little comment area who it's for. But we ask Yvette, Apostle Lavelle, put yours there or let them know what yours is. Y'all listening, write this down and somebody type it in the comment section. Okay, she did. Shekinah, type yours too. Apostle Lavelle put $LPMPRAYER. Whatever you can do just to encourage these girls. Shay, and say congratulations to them. Shea Bomb. Okay, is that going to be a butter or something that you're gonna make some kind of cream?
No. That originated because I
Good
started.
idea. She is hilarious. It's $SHAYBOMBB. Okay, $SHAYBOMBB. Or Apostle Lavelle, $LPMPRAYER. You might not have it tonight, but you want to give. If you don't remember them, you could send it to me and I will make sure they get it. Send it to $WINNN, that's 3 N's, y'all, ER123, and I will make sure they get it, because I know some of you don't get paid until the end of the week, or you might not get paid to the first of the month. So you want to be a blessing, because what you give to them and what you make happen for them, God is going to make happen for you. That's what somebody told me. What you make happen for others, God is going to make happen for you. And we know Dr. Atkins, she is coming up.
Yes.
And our director and our business owner and CEO, Apostle YVETTE LEVELL. She already has a business.
Yes.
Okay, because she's going to need a couple of couches, because a couple of folks I know need to go right now. But she's going to need a couple of couches. And I thank God for that. So we want you to, again, to give a gift. Those of you, you've already made it, the devil's not going to tell you to give them no money, okay? But God will. Believe me, he won't tell you to get nothing to when it comes to ministry. So give it or send to Apostle YVETTE LEVELL, $LPMPRAYER, or SHEKINAH Atkins is $Shay, SHAYBOMBB. Now, normally I don't do this on a Godly Woman's View. Godly Woman's View is not sitting around with money, but those of you that will plant a seed and give, I know they will appreciate it, because they need every dollar they can to go to school. Praise God. Or even to get a sandwich, because she's not going to, maybe her family might be away on vacation. She's going to need a sandwich.
I'm all the way in Alabama by myself.
She by herself in Alabama. Y'all please send me something. Not that for food, no. Her family ain't gonna let her be out there like that. But anyway, but we her family too, okay? Godly Woman View. I don't see them, y'all hitting them hearts no more. Y'all, and stop. Okay, don't stop. It's offering time. No, never mind. Listen, I love you guys. And until next week, on next Tuesday, we're going to have a show. What is the role of a woman pastor? Should women pastor? Should women preach? And we have 6 women from all over the country that will be coming on, because I'm a little tired of hearing that, and they call me everything sometimes but a child of God or preacher. I'm like, what in the world? Where are people getting these titles from me? What in the world? My husband walk in his shoes. God let me walk in mine. But anyway, next Tuesday at 8:30, we're going to be having some women, and we're going to talk about should a woman preach? Ooh, Jesus have mercy. Okay. But anyway, we thank you. I love you guys.
Love you.
And we wish all of the men happy Father's Day.
Yes.
We see the streets are just filled with ties and with shirts up and down the streets for us to buy gifts and handkerchiefs. But let's remember our fathers and let them know that we love them, grandfathers, godfathers. All right. And we say happy Father's Day to all of you from a Godly Woman's View. And we love you, and we'll continue to pray for you. And you girls, much success on your journey. And I'm going to look into it. And by next year, we're going to see something even better and greater that you have gotten involved in. God bless you. And I love you with the love of the Lord.
You.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.